you, Madam Chair. Madam Administrator, the two cartels that are sending fentanyl into the United States are located in Mexico, aren't they?
Yes, sir.
And isn't it a fact that we could stop those cartels in their tracks if President Lopez Obrador would invite American military and/or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with his military and law enforcement personnel?
Senator, what I would say from my purview as the head of the DEA.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Congress Every Day. In today's video, we dive into a heated exchange from a recent Senate hearing where Senator John Kennedy grills the DEA administrator on the U.S. government's response to the fentanyl crisis. This intense back and forth is about lives lost and whether we're doing enough to stop cartels from flooding the U.S. with deadly drugs. You don't want to miss this. But before we jump into it, make sure to...
Is my statement true or not?
What I would say is that we're focused on the two cartels who we believe are doing exactly what you say. They are responsible for the fentanyl coming
Let me
into
ask
the
you
United
again.
States.
If President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and/or American law enforcement officials to come into Mexico to work with the same in Mexico, we could stop the cartels, could we not?
Senator, I believe this is a whole of government effort and has to be, including whether it's the military.
Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Let's get into it. Senator John Kennedy opens the hearing by asking the DEA administrator about fentanyl trafficking and the Mexican cartels responsible. Kennedy asks if the U.S. could stop these cartels if Mexico invited U.S. military and law enforcement to help. The DEA...
FBI,
Now,
and others.
Madam Administrator, I've listened to you here for almost an hour telling us how bad fentanyl is. Thank you for that, but we know.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to ask you a third time. If President Lopez Obrador invited the American military and/or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with the same in Mexico, we could stop the cartels. Isn't that a fact?
So, Senator, I can speak to the law enforcement side of this, and you just mentioned law enforcement. I believe that this is vital for both Mexico and the United States. Mexicans are dying as well as we.
The DEA administrator says it's a whole of government effort requiring coordination across multiple agencies. But Kennedy wants a clear answer and is not satisfied with the generic responses. He's frustrated with the lack of a direct, actionable solution. Kennedy calls out the fact that more money is being spent, but the situation keeps getting worse.
Well, then why don't we stop them?
So
would it help? Let me ask you a fourth time. Would it help if President Lopez Obrador, I don't think it's a complicated question, Madam Administrator. You're asking us for more money every year, more money, and it gets worse, worse, and worse. You know, in the real world, the nitty-gritty of the real world, when you fail, you get fired. In government, when you fail, you get more money because obviously you need it. Now, let me ask you a fourth time. If President Lopez Obrador, and I'd appreciate an answer, if President Lopez Obrador invited...
It's getting worse. He demands that the U.S. government pressure Mexico to allow U.S. intervention. Kennedy challenges the DEA administrator to call President Biden and get Mexico's President Lopez Obrador on the phone. The DEA administrator dodges the challenge, reiterating ongoing efforts. But is that enough? Kennedy closes by reminding everyone...
the American military and/or law enforcement personnel to come into Mexico and work with his, we could stop the cartels, couldn't we?
I believe, Senator, that we can stop the cartels.
Okay, have you made that suggestion to President Biden?
If I could, I believe that we can stop the cartels by...
Have you made that suggestion to President Biden?
Senator, I have been very vocal in the whole of government setting on the importance of fentanyl and all of us using every single effort and authority that we have.
Why hasn't President Biden done it? I mean, this is the way the American people, whose sons and daughters...
everyone that the U.S. government is not doing enough to stop the cartels. So what do you think? Is the U.S. government doing enough to combat the fentanyl epidemic? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button to stay updated on this ongoing issue.